What's up, guys? First things first, I'm going to apologise for being a couple of days late. We're actually on 6 plus 4 or 5 days, 6 months plus 4 or 5 days. So it's been a busy time, and I'm sure you're all aware that we're all in a shit state at the moment because of this pandemic that's spread across the world. I've been, I wouldn't say busy, but I'm trying to sort my life out as to my whole plans have changed. But in this video, we're going to go through pretty much everything, actually, because I get quite a lot of comments on each of the new videos about stuff that I've been through in the past. So if I make a video with everything, so the price, where I had it done, what it was like, what this clinic's like that I've used, the progression up to month 6, where I was beforehand. So I'm going to try and hit it all in this video, and hopefully you watch the whole thing, and then if there's any questions at the end, make sure you subscribe, and let's get on with it. So first things first, as most people who've been watching my videos, you'll know about the communication problems that I've had with the Cinik clinic. So I thought to myself, instead of them just ignoring me, I decided to message them again. And I messaged them and I told them about the pain that I still have if I push down. And they said it can be up to a year. And I hit back with the question, or the statement like, why didn't you inform me that this could be up to a year? Because for work I wear a helmet. Luckily, I mean, no one's in work at the moment, but I would have been possibly wearing a helmet at certain times, or I wear a headdress for work as well, and this could have been a complication for people, say, who are in construction, who have to wear hard hats. If their head's still hurting, you need to take in consideration that it could be up to a year before the pain goes away. Some people have said that it could be the nerve endings that have been damaged during the operation, so that's something to look into. Do take this into consideration when you are looking to get a hair transplant. But so far, I mean, that's pretty much everything they said. They didn't really say anything else. They haven't asked for pictures and haven't asked to see what it looked like. They just explained to me that it could be up to a year. They were saying at first it was a few months. You know, when I remember speaking to the doctor that was in the clinic, how long is it going to be before I can wear a helmet? Someone told me 6 weeks. Then I got told by someone else that it's going to take 3 months. So when I come back to work, I told them that I couldn't wear a helmet for a while. I don't think it's going to be painful wearing a helmet now, don't get me wrong. It only hurts if I really push down on my scalp. The itchiness has gone, the pain's gone pretty much, apart from obviously when I'm touching my scalp. So yeah, just do take that into consideration and learn from what's happened to me. My 2 friends who work with me, who had a hair transplant 2 months after, they didn't have any pain after 1 month. So I've just been unlucky. But it doesn't mean that you might get lucky or you might get unlucky. It all depends on, I suppose, the body type, and whether your nerves were damaged or whether something went wrong. I don't think anything went wrong. I'm not sure. So yeah. So we'll go through pretty much where it was. So I went to Turkey on the 22nd of October 2019. Istanbul, I went to Dr.Cinik's clinic, and I was very happy with how it was dealt with. I got picked up by a taxi, got taken to my hostel because I wanted to spend a few days beforehand. So I went around Istanbul. I've been to Istanbul before, really liked it, so I went to visit the markets again, visit the mosques, do a little bit of sightseeing on my own. So I stayed in the hostel for a few days, and then I got picked up from the hostel by the taxi again to take me to their hotel. The hotel was pretty nice. I couldn't use the swimming pool because I didn't have a swimming cap, and it cost like 20 quid to rent the swimming cap. So if you are going to go through it, make sure if you want to go swimming beforehand, obviously not after, do bring the swimming cap. The food was okay. I mean, I don't really stay in hotels. I've travelled quite a lot of the world, and I mostly travel in hostels and homestays, so I don't really go in hotels. So I couldn't couldn't tell you the difference between how good food is in a really nice hotel or how good it is in a normal hotel. So I thought it was okay, personally. The breakfast was nice, and there's no point really eating in a hotel in my eyes. I'd rather go out to one of the local restaurants, which I did. I went across the river in Istanbul to the Asian side, and I went to like a buffet sort of place, which was beautiful, and it cost absolutely nothing. I think it cost like £4 for a full buffet and drinks. So yeah, so after I spent a day in the hotel, they picked me up. I went there. I went with cash, so that's a big question that I get asked. I went with pounds, £1,700. I did that because I didn't want to lose out on currency exchange. I know the currency exchange over there, you can get different rates. If I do it over in England or if I do it over in the airport, never currency exchange in the airport because they rip you off the most. I would take over your own currency, get in touch with them first and be like, can I bring over my own currency, can I pay that? Let them exchange it. That way you don't get fucked over by the exchange. So I took over my money, obviously passport, headphones. I'm trying to think back now of what I actually took. I think I go more in depth of what I took on the first video, so if you do want to go back, but yeah, do watch that. So after that, I then went to the clinic. They took my blood to make sure I had fucking AIDS. I didn't have AIDS, so I was lucky I could go straight into it. And then, yeah, so the worst pain that nearly I've been through in my life is the injections. I didn't get the painless one, however my friends did get a painless one a couple of months ago and they said it was still really painful, so I didn't want to pay €300, I just wanted to take 15 minutes of pain. It's not a big deal for me. I mean, on the bed it was, and I was nearly sweating. I just felt like I wanted to cry. I got like 10 needles into the back of my head, and then that's when they started taking the follicles out the back of my head. I'll put some pictures up now to show you the backs of my head. Please excuse the haircut. When I was drunk with my friend George a couple of days ago, we decided I think it was a good idea at 3:37 in the morning to cut my hair while absolutely steaming. So I don't think he's done a bad job. There's maybe a dodgy line in there, but you can actually see I don't think you can actually see the scarring, or not that much. You can get pigmentation tattooing to cover it. Doesn't really bother me though, so I'm not that arsed. I mean, the big thing that for me is that I was pretty much bald and now I've got quite a bit of hair on top of my head. It's good to see, walk around here and people can absolutely notice a difference. So that's cool as well. And I wanted to go into like sort of the mental health side of getting a hair transplant, because I'd never thought it really affected me being bald. It didn't. I shaved my hair off at 24, 25 I think it was, again when I was drunk, because I didn't have the balls to do it. I tried to hold on to my hair for as long as possible and it was just getting stupid. I ended up shaving it and I was bald until the age of obviously 29, so I was bald for 4 years, and I didn't think it really affected me, but then I look back at myself now and I'm more confident to go out without wearing a cap or something. I used to wear a lot of caps. So maybe it did. Maybe it did affect me, but I was just pushing it under the rug, which is what a lot of people do when they've got mental health issues. I wouldn't say it's a proper mental health issue, but maybe if you're feeling low and you're not confident but with your looks, maybe getting a hair transplant is a good idea. Now, as long as you've maybe been furloughed and not lost a job, is the best time to save. I mean, I'm lucky I don't have a family. I live in a cheap accommodation, and I get paid quite well, but I spent £200 this month because I haven't been able to go anywhere. I've bought food and alcohol, and that's pretty much it. So I'm able to save a lot of money at the moment. So looking back into that, this could be possibly the time that you should maybe start planning where you want to go, and then once you figured out where you want to go in the world, who you want to go with. When you figured out who you want to go with, start looking at the cost. start figuring out how to save that money, and then just take the next step and go for it and book it. The world will eventually open up. I'm in a bit of a fucking hole at the moment because I was supposed to leave work on the 6th of July and take my camper van and travel Europe. Now that isn't probably a possibility anymore, so it looks like I'm going to have to stay with work for another 3 months. Then I'm looking at doing a pilot's course, and then postponing my Euro trip for next summer, and then ended up selling my van. And that's been big on me as well, and that's in the past week is the only thing that I've been thinking about and trying to figure out how I'm going to do this and where I'm going to do this. I do not want to work again. I do not want to stay in the military for another 3 months, but it's just something that you've got to do, and they've offered me a 3-month extension, so the logical thing to do is to keep it. So, you know, if you think about it, no one is in a hole and everyone's in the same position. Everyone's got to take sacrifices, and this for me is a massive sacrifice because I've been planning this for the past 5 years, and then this happens just wrong place, wrong time. But at least I'll have hair next year properly, hopefully. Hopefully it'll thicken up by then. So that's one good thing that comes out of it. But yeah, so do think about saving money now, if you can, obviously. If it's a struggle, wait until after this. But if you are in my position and you are still getting paid, don't do anything. There's no point leaving the house. I don't know why people are anyway. Have a couple of whiskies through the week and save money. The way I saved money to do this hair transplant, I didn't take any money out of my savings. I decided not to drink for 6 weeks beforehand, and then save the money from not drinking, and that's how much I was drinking at the time. And yeah, so that's how I saved all that money. So that brings me on to the next point is, yes, I didn't drink for 6 weeks before my operation, which might have helped. Well, it probably did help. I didn't drink for 6 weeks after the operation either. And I was in bed for like a week and a half after this operation. I just didn't want to move because I didn't want to damage anything that I've got. So do take a few weeks off work if you're going to go for this operation. Yeah. So after the operation, it took around about 8 hours. And then I'll put some pictures up of after that, so you can see my head started swelling up a little bit. The next night I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep for about a week properly. They gave me this neck pillow, which after about 4 days I ended up fucking it off and just putting a pillow on my back and trying to sit up while I'm sleeping, which I'm not a very good sleeper anyway. I struggle to sleep, so yeah, I was in a bit of a hole for the week after the hair transplant. But I didn't exercise for 4 weeks afterwards. I didn't do any physical activity. I also had another operation 2 weeks after, so then I was bedded down from that for another 2 weeks. Actually, that was 3 weeks because it had to be extended. So yeah, for 5 weeks after this operation, I didn't really do anything, which might have helped with the growth because I didn't move. I didn't dare damage it. Yeah, so you can see. I'll put pictures up, like literally the progress that comes through for the first couple of months, and you can see a little bit of hair come through at first. Then I shed everything, and that's when I started worrying. If you go back to month 2 of my videos, you can start to really see me like flapping big, because I was like, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work, which I'm sure everyone goes through that same thing. And the more videos you watch, I didn't really watch many videos of month 2, but the more videos you watch, the more you realise that this is just the norm. And you worry yourself because you think, yeah, okay, this could be the norm, but what happens if it doesn't grow back? And then what a waste of money that was. What a waste of all the follicles that you've had taken out. Can you get another one? So yeah, so I went through that sort of stuff. And then month 3 to month 4 was a massive, massive change. And that was when it started to really grow. It started to thicken up now. It's starting to look a lot better over the past month. I mean, I haven't noticed it because I've been looking at myself every day in the mirror, like, has it got better? Has it got better? No. But other people have said, who haven't seen me for 4 weeks because they've been away and then they've come back, they're like, oh my god, your hair's grown loads. And I'm just like, oh really? Well, cool, sweet. So it is actually growing. The only dramas I'd say that I've got with the hair is the way that it's been planted in. So obviously it's a cheap hair transplant. It's £1,700 for 3,750 grafts, I think I got, which is cheap in my eyes. In England, that's, you know, you're hitting £8 easy, or 6 to 8 grand, depending on where you go. So I had a friend as well who had one in England done for just over £5 grand. I had another friend who had one in England just over £5 grand, and the results are just as good as mine. I believe in America it costs nearly $30,000 to get one done, but that might be by really, really good professionals who do one a day. You've got to remember that Dr.Cinik does probably 20 people a day, so I wouldn't say rushing, but one technician or two technicians will be doing this over 2 hours, then the other two technicians will go to another person and do it over 2 hours, and they've got like 12 technicians. So if you're gonna get a cheap hair transplant, don't expect the greatest thing. And I don't. The only thing is the implants have been placed, so they're facing up. So my the hair sort of, you can see it goes down, then it raises up at all this area here where it's been planted up. So it sort of faces up like this instead of going in line with all this hair. So maybe if they'd put the grafts in facing this way, so it'd all come down that way. That is the only thing that I've got a problem with at the moment. And it's not exactly I've got a problem, it's just something that I've noticed. So be aware that the only hairstyle you can sort of have is like a sort of a slick back, or maybe spike it all up. You know, I don't know if you can see it. So yeah, you can just see it now. It's just like sticking up, but I mean, it doesn't really bother me. It's just nice to have a hairline again. But yeah, it makes it really bouncy on the front and then at the back. So I've made a little video which we'll put up now. And it's just a better, clearer video of going through my hair, and I'll put a comb through it or put my hand through it, and then maybe showing you what it's like now. So if I put pictures of the top and the rear, you can see on the rear that the hair started thickening up towards the crown, where it was really, really quite bald a couple of months ago. And I've been told between 6 and 8 months, 6 and 8, or 6 to 12 is where your hair really starts to thicken up. So that would be pretty cool. Like if it stayed like this, it's not super thick. Like if I put it in the light, I don't know if you can still see my scalp, but if you put it in the light or in the sunlight, it's very thin. If it thickens up, that'd be nice. If it doesn't, it won't really bother me that much. I will definitely get in touch with the clinic and ask them why it hasn't thickened up. If it doesn't, I'm sure it will. I'm only on 6 months. I'm not on 12 or 18. It could take up to 18 months to really thicken up. If by 18 months it hasn't, then I'll get in touch with the clinic and see what their 10-year guarantee, see if it works, see if it actually happens, which I'm sure would be interesting for everyone to see, is if they go back on that 10-year guarantee. I personally don't think that I'll need to get in touch with them. I think it's fine, and I will eventually give them a review. And I've reviewed their clinic through my whole video log so far. Yeah. So I'm coming up to the point where I'm running out of sol per meter now. I had a 6 month dosage of it. So I've been taking biotin, I've been taking vitamins, fish oils, and saw palmetto. I've not taken finasteride, I've not taken minoxidil. If in 6 months it doesn't seem to be picking up, I might start those, just to see what happens. But I don't think I've needed to, personally. I've not used hair fibres. I used them once and I didn't like them personally, because I used them, Go Fibre, and I wet my hair just to see if it worked, and they just all ran out, and I was just like, yeah, okay, I'm not a big fan. I might try and find some fibres to see if it does thicken up people's hair, and we'll see what it does, but at the moment it doesn't really bother me. So the biotin's really helping. It's strengthening my nails and my toenails as well, which is supposed to. But I think the biotin's the biggest thing that really strengthens the hair. I don't really get any hair falling out. I get 1 or 2 hairs falling out, but I mean that'd happen if I had natural hair anyway. The fish oil and the vitamins, I've never felt healthier in my life, so I really think that. I mean, I've started eating well as well, and drinking lots of water, but I still drink lots of alcohol as well, so it sort of balances out. But yeah, so everything you can buy is placed below, and that's the stuff that I use. The shampoo that I use, I've had a few people come to me and be like, is this shampoo drying your hair out? And if you read on the instructions, if you use that shampoo every day, it's going to dry your hair out. It's not designed to be used every day. It's designed to be used every 2 days, and that's what I do. So I have 1 day on, 1 day off, and then I just don't put anything in my hair, like the natural oils get in there, because, I mean, when I was going to be living in the van, I probably won't wash every single day. I have a shower in the van, but I'm just going to be living van life. I'm just going to live like a tramp, because I'm going to be travelling around. But I will wash my hair once every 2 days, and that seems to be fine for me. My hair's not dry. You could possibly use conditioner. I will have a look at conditioners, and I'll put it in the link below on the conditioner that I used to use, which I thought was pretty good. It was just a Tresemme one, and you get loads of it for really cheap. So I've also stopped massaging my head, but I might go back into that. I used to massage my head quite a lot, but I normally do it in the shower for quite a while. When I'm washing my hair, I massage my head for around about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It says on the shampoo 5 minutes, but I'm not going to lie to you, I get bored massaging my head for 5 minutes, so it's not something I've done. So as for products, that's the only ones I've really used. I will look at other things that will strengthen the hair. I've heard you can get bands that push up your scalp, that increase the blood flow, and blood flow is what helps the hair grow. I mean, but I haven't really done anything. I'm not going to sell you a lie and try and sell you stuff that I've not used, because I'm just being as honest as I can with these reviews. So I don't know when my next video will be. It'll definitely be on the 7th month. I'll do one on hopefully around about the 24th of on the 24th of May. I start work again on the 14th of May. We're going back quite early, and I'm going to try and figure out what the fuck I'm going to do with my life. If I can, I'll start the van life this year. If not, I'll wait till next year, and just, I suppose, increase my subscribers on my YouTube, and try and help everyone out with questions as much as I can. I hope everyone's safe and doing strong, and I hope everyone's safe and strong, and I hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, just for now, try and stay at home until the government allows you to leave your house. I know America's opening up soon, Europe might be opening up, but there will possibly be a second spike, and we'll all just be in lockdown again. So let's see if we can get ourselves out of lockdown, and let's see if we can get everyone else their hair transplants that they've been waiting for years. Make sure you subscribe and like this video, and yeah, I'll see you in a couple of weeks.